I'm calling it right now on Tuesday. Bookmark this video, save it, do whatever you gotta do. Illinois is beating the Little Bro Ohio State. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you having a great Tuesday. Hope all of you having a great week. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. And man, oh man. We have a lot of great games to look forward to this weekend. We got Alabama and the Missouri Tigers. That's a top 15 matchup. We got Pittsburgh and Florida State. How are they going to bounce back? Guess we got to wait and see. We got, this is a sneaky one, Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech. Watch out for the Yellow Jackets because they haven't been too hot recently. We got Notre Dame, we got NC State, we got Oklahoma, we got Texas. Oh, what about this one? The top 10 matchup where game day's going. We got the Indiana Hoosiers, the fighting Kurt Sinettis themselves versus the Oregon Duckies. Tennessee, Arkansas, that's always a good one. We got the Florida Gators versus A&M. They're coming off of that great win over Texas. We got Texas Tech and Kansas. We got Georgia and Auburn, one of the best rivalries if you guys ask me in the Southeast. We got Michigan, a.k.a. Big Bro, versus USC. I'm really looking forward to that one. And there's many more. South Kakalaki and LSU. Who remembers how that game went down last year? We got Arizona State and Utah. The BYUs versus Arizona. But the one game I think everybody and their mom is sleeping on is the Illinois fighting Brett Bielema's versus the Little Bro Ohio State. You see, when people look at the fighting Brett Bielema's, they go, oh yeah, that team, they ain't for real. That's the same team that lost to the fighting Kurt Sinettis. They lost to Indiana by a 53 burger. Let me say that again. A 53 burger. Over 50 points? Why should we take them serious, Maddie? They're not going to compete with Ohio State. Did you see what Indiana did to them? And yes, I did. But I think this one's different. You see, you got the win there. I think Indiana, number one, caught them off guard, threw them off their game plan. And number two, it was a home game for Indiana. Everybody knows there's a huge home field advantage in college football. I will say, in recent years, I have stated that I don't think home field advantage is that big of a deal in college football, but I've changed my mind. Well, what I've seen last year and what I've seen up until this point this year, it does matter a ton. What makes this Illinois team so intriguing to me, and y'all know I made a separate video a couple weeks ago saying they're one of my biggest sleepers in all college football, is because of their quarterback, Luke Altmire. He is quietly having an outstanding season. I guarantee you this, his numbers are going to shock you because when you think of a Brett Bielema team who is predominantly known for running the football, he is putting up Heisman numbers. Yes, Heisman numbers. He has over 1,500 passing yards. Nice little golf clap. 12 touchdowns. Golf clap again. 0! Big clap. Interceptions. That's remarkable. We're halfway through the season, and he has a QBR top 6 in the nation. 86.8. You can't play too much better than this. He's the reason Illinois is 5-1. You want a fun fact? Their rushing attack has been awful this year. They're almost last. You know how many yards per game they're averaging? 115. Out of 136 teams in college football, that ranks 103rd. They've been terrible on the ground. You know who's been picking up the slack? You're looking at him right here. Luke Altmire. You know what he's done his last 2 games outside of beating a good USC team and beating Purdue? Take a look at these numbers. I can't sit up here and say it perplexes me as to why he's not getting any Heisman love and attention, but we know why. It's because he plays on Illinois. Ended of the conversation right there. Against USC, he was 20 for 26. That's great. 328 passing yards. Completed over 76% of his passes. 2 touchdowns, 0 INTs. You know what his QBR was? Oh yeah, just a measly 97.5. That's close to perfect. Some of you may say, well, Matt, that was a fluke. No, it wasn't. In the next game on the road at Purdue, he only had 3 incompletions. Completion percentage of 86.4. Had 390 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 0 INTs, QBR of 90.9. He's been balling out. Although I personally would take Julian Sain over him, if you were to tell me, Matt, I'll take Luke Altmire in this game, I don't blame you, not even to the slightest. When it comes to who's got the better quarterback in this game, I think it's 1A, 1B. It's a coin flip. But if I were, for the sake of this video, trying to convince you as to why you should roll with Altmire, here's my argument. It's a home game for Illinois. Julian Sain hasn't been tested a lot. He's been solid up until this point. He was good against Texas, good against Washington, good against Minnesota. But Ohio State hasn't been in a game where they're trailing from the jump, where they really need Sain to go out there and make plays. He's been on cruise control. They haven't asked him to do anything. Granted, when the opportunities have presented themselves, he has done what he's needed to do. I'm not trying to take anything away from him. What I am trying to say is Luke Altmire has had to make the big-time plays. The offense has solely been dependent upon him. They have 0 rushing game. I'm not going to dare call this a trap game because I don't think it is. But this game, it screams out trouble to me. Here's why. First things first, you play at 11 a.m. Everybody knows this. When you're playing at the 11 a.m. time slot on the road, players, they're more sluggish than normal. Number two, this is a game that Ohio State's not going to be hyped up for. It's Illinois. They've never been relevant in college football. You're supposed to handle these guys easily. Do you know how hard it is for college athletes to get hyped up for a game in which everybody expects you to win and you don't have a chip on your shoulder? How many people are telling Ohio State heading into this matchup, oh yeah, Illinois is going to beat you? Zero. All people are doing is telling Julian Sayin, Carnell Tate, Jeremiah Smith, Brandon Ennis, etc., the defense, how great they are. They're getting a big ego. Rightfully so. They've earned that. But the problem is when you get a big ego, the chip on your shoulder, it tends to fall off. You know who has that new chip on their shoulder? The Illini. Everybody's telling Illinois, I don't care if you host this game. I don't care if you play at 11 a.m., 11 p.m., 1 a.m., 1 p.m. It doesn't matter when you play. Ohio State's going to beat your eyes in. We're talking about the number one team in the nation. You don't have a chance. You don't think Brett Bielema's beating that into his players' heads all week long? You don't think Luke Altmire's telling the team, hey, we got to go out here and send a message? They are going to play like a fire is lit underneath them. But Ohio State, I don't think that's going to happen. This is a meaningless game for Ohio State. It means nothing. Nobody's ever in the history of college football going to remember the 2025 game on the road at Illinois if you win. It will never be talked about again. Meaningless game. Heck, you can even lose this game, theoretically speaking, and still make the playoff comfortably. Here's why I'm worried about Ohio State heading into this matchup. You have yet to play a good quarterback. Not even a great quarterback, but a good quarterback this entire season. Nobody's tested this defense or secondary. To start the season, Arch Manning, he sucks. Period, the end there. Williams Jr., the quarterback for Washington, well, he's mainly a scrambler. He's not a pocket passer. He's not a pure thrower. And then recently, who's the quarterback for Minnesota? Isn't it Drake Lindsey? I mean, come on now, with all due respect, it's Drake Lindsey. I don't even got to pull it up. I'm pretty sure he didn't have over 150 passing yards. I'm almost certain he didn't have over 100. You know how many passing yards per game Altmire's averaging on the year? 262. Way more than any other quarterback Ohio State has played up until this point. Now, let's be serious. Am I going to sit up here and try to convince you that Illinois has got a great wide receiver core, great running backs, a great overall team? No. At best, they're good. But here's what I will tell you. We've seen it year in, year out. There's just some games where you can throw talent out the window. A team's highly motivated. It's their day. The ball's bouncing their way. They're going to pull off the upset. Don't get it twisted. Do not get it twisted, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. The smart pick in this game is Ohio State. If they play 10 times, Ohio State's winning 9. But, and I have a ginormous, enormously large big but, this Saturday at 11 a.m. at Illinois is different. I could show you all the stats, numbers in the world leading up into this game, and they're all going to point to Ohio State's going to win, but I'm not going to do that. There are some things that can't be spotted on the stat sheet, and they're why teams pull off upsets. Here's the thing, right? You can't sit up here and say, well, based off of recent stats, Illinois is not going to get a pick six, a scoop and score, a punt return touchdown, a kick return touchdown, something like that. It's quite clear and obvious for Illinois to pull off this upset, they're going to need to score some crazy touchdowns, do some trick plays, stuff like that. Here's another thing the stats aren't going to show you. Illinois is in must-win mode. They have to win this game if they want to make the playoff. Ohio State, nah, they're chilling. Ohio State is the much better team in this matchup. You know it and I know it, but Illinois got something that Ohio State doesn't heading into this matchup. They got grit, and you can't coach that. They want to win. I think they're going to come out firing, hitting on all cylinders. In Ohio State, they're going to be lackadaisical in the first half, and you're going to look up at halftime, Illinois is up 17-7. From that point on, you're going to be playing catch-up mode against one of the better quarterbacks in the entire country. Not a recipe for success, and here's another thing that should concern you. Julian Sayin has only played with a lead this year. What is Sayin going to do when the defense forces him to pass the ball? They ain't forced him to do that all year long. They've had to play on their heels because Ohio State's had the lead, so you can run it, pass it, do whatever you want. If I'm an Ohio State fan, I would be worried. I would be worried because Illinois is going to jump out on you early. Question is, are you going to rise to the occasion or fold like an omelet? I think Ohio State's going to fold like an omelet. It's going to be a close game, but Illinois is going to win by 3 points. I got the Illini pulling out the upset. I'm calling it right now on Tuesday. Bookmark this video, save it, do whatever you got to do. Illinois is beating the Little Bro Ohio State 27-24. I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts down below.